We have with us Chief Moore. We're honored that we're able to get face-to-face. We've seen each other a few times at different conferences passing through. But one of the things I wanted to pick your brain about within this super edit is I wanted to get your thoughts on, being that we're here at Small Town Jobtown, and you just got done wrapping up your Down and Dirty class. What is the importance to you of getting outside of your bubble and getting to outside training? And I just want to pick your brain on that.
Oh, great question. There's so many directions you can go with it because there's so much. And I've heard your story, you've heard my story, and they're similar. I think one of the keys is silos, because you don't know you're in a silo when you're in a silo. And it's a version of Dunning-Kruger, like on an organizational level. And you don't know what you don't know, plain and simple. And to get to the role that outside training plays in that is so instrumental in taking those, I hate to say scales off your eyes, but to realize, oh, wait, there's a whole lot we don't know. I talked about it in the presentation today. I thought every fire department across the country had 5 persons on their rigs because that's all I knew for 20 years, and it was very shocking to me to find out, oh, you guys have 1 or 2. So again, you don't know what you don't know. That's probably the most important thing, is you can't grow when you don't know what you don't know. So the growth is there. But my personal story is the first time I heard Mark Von Oppen speak, and I always credit Mark Von Oppen with that eye-opening moment. But there's also Dave McGrail, because I saw Dave McGrail like years later. I saw the same presentation that I saw, and it reminded me, and I'm like, holy smokes, it was those two. One was fully involved leadership, Mark Von Oppen, the Big Four. He was the first person I ever heard say, you can be awesome at this job, kick ass at this job, and be proud of it. Everybody else was, I don't say everybody else, everything else I'd heard to that point was, it's just a job. I don't care about this job. It pays the same whether we go to fires or not. And you weren't allowed to be proud to do it. And when he said that, it sounds crazy to say now, but it blew my mind. And the same thing was Dave McGrail's Are You Into the Job, his class. And I did not realize how big an impact it had until I saw it again years later. And I was like, holy smokes, I've been saying that stuff that I stole from Dave. I learned from Dave years ago, and I had no idea how big of an impact it had.
Was that your big moment?
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Was that your big moment into starting Firehouse Vigilance? That was it was one of the impetus that led to that road of developing it?
The one I remember specifically is Mark Von Oppen's blog on, I always say 2 things. One is Terry Scott, Chief Terry Scott, 37-year firefighter, battalion chief, retired out of Moore Fire Department. And his retirement video, he told me I recorded the videos, and I said, is there anything you want to say to the guys? And one of the things he said was, the hardest fight you will ever fight is the fight against complacency. And that's his quote to me. And I'm sure other people have said similar versions, but that hit me. And that's where the never-ending fight against complacency came from. And Mark Von Oppen wrote the blog. Sorry, the classes smoked my.
You're fine. You're fine.
Mark Von Oppen wrote a blog, and in it, he basically said the number one weapon against complacency is vigilance. And that's where Firehouse Vigilance was born from, is those 2 sayings.
So to touch on that a little bit more, after going to those classes, did that fire you up to the point where you kind of, I don't want to say became obsessed with it, I don't want to put those words, but did you consistently seeking that outside training? Did you continue down that path?
I went on, if you talk to Amanda and hear, again, my memory's so bad, I don't remember a lot of this. We were talking about it last night at dinner with some friends, how many conferences I went to that next year, which I think was, I want to say it was like 2019. I went to everything we could go to. My kids were adults, and so I wasn't missing Little League games, and it was a very unique time in my life where I had a lot of freedom, and I took full advantage, and I went to everything I could get a hold of. It was, and I made so many connections. And at the same time, I didn't know, the podcast wasn't a thing yet. It was started in 2019, but it was late in 2019, and it was 2020 when I think the first episodes were December of 2019. So, without deep diving in the weeds, but no. At first, I wanted to have the impact on other people that Mark Von Oppen had on me. That was the initial thing I wanted. I didn't know what that was, I just wanted other people to have that mind-blowing moment that this is the greatest job on earth. People say it all the time, but when you actually connect to that, and it's powerful. And I wanted other people to feel that.
Yes, yes.
And so I didn't know what that looked like. So I tried everything, and the podcast is the vehicle that got traction.
Excellent. Well, Chief, I know you have a quick turnaround this afternoon. I know you're literally going to be boarding up a plane here in the next little bit, but I appreciate you stopping in to talk about just that little piece. And maybe one day we'll sit down for we'll get a full episode with full on thoughts.
I am looking forward to it. I really am.
Same here. All right. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.